Greetings, one and all. This rant is pre-recorded, like I said. For those of you who are only watching via YouTube, uh, I'm recording this for my radio show, Rantin' and Ravin' with the all-powerful Nate Boy. I'm doing it this way because I think it's very important that people see and hear what I'm doing. So let me ready myself, because, it's always important that I be properly prepared. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I'd like to talk to you about a very serious topic. Rape. Well, no. Rape isn't exactly what I want to talk about, just because I want to talk about all the shit that surrounds rape. Uh, we can all agree that rape is a horrible thing. It's a violation. It's a violation of will. It's a violation of body, a violation of mind. No one, except for perhaps the most sociopathic of fucktards, would actually think rape is a good thing. Rape, or attempted rape, is a fucking awesome plot element, one of many. Thank you, James Desborough. For those of you who are unaware, James Desborough is a shitstain. But in addition to being a shitstain, he's a published RPG writer, co-writing The Munchkin's Guide to Power Gaming, one of the authors on City of Stormreach for Eberron, The Slayer's Guide to Female Gamers, and a few others. I'm saying all this so that I can kind of belay and get rid of any of the comments about fringe asshole and not mainstream. I don't want to talk about that, because the man is a published RPG writer. He is part of gaming culture. We cannot dismiss that just because he is a shit stain. He's not the face of gaming, but he's most certainly a name in gaming, and he thinks rape is awesome. Well, as a plot device. He would never actually think rape itself is awesome. But here's the problem. Desborough, is not the only dumb fuck to think this. And he's not even wrong. Rape is an awesome plot device. As awesome as murder and assassination, as awesome as chronic illness of a loved one, as awesome as kidnapping or stubbing your toe. Anything that puts the character at risk, makes us feel for them and about them, is an awesome plot device. So why, then, is he a shitstain, and why am I raging about this? To understand, let us hop over to the other facet of gaming, video games. Specifically, the new Tomb Raider. See, when I first saw the video and the stills for this game, I was excited. It made me think that maybe I should buy a current-gen console. You guys who listen to my show regularly know that I do not really want a current-gen console, because I really hate this idea that a console should be a PC. Hate that. Fuck that shit. However, this game made me go, that looks like something I want to play. It looked good. They were treating Lara Croft like a real human being. They were telling me how this game will show how she became battle-hardened and capable. Awesome! They made her look like somebody who was actually out there on an adventure. Real clothing, real equipment. It was fantastic and fantabulous. They were going to tell us how she became such a strong character, and someone tries to rape her. Motherfucker. This is the problem. This is the problem with rape as a plot device. Because it's never really a plot device. In order for something to be an awesome plot device, it has to be functional for any character. It has to be useful and dramatic, no matter the character's gender, status, anything. It has to be a real risk for any character, and you just happen to write a story where this character fell into that situation. Murder is a good plot device because we can all comprehend what it feels like to have a beloved soul taken from us. Often it's via a natural death, but we can pretty easily extrapolate on that, or from that. Things like sickness, theft, destruction of property, horrible things that no one wants to happen to them. But we can all understand how horrible it is, no matter who it happens to. Meanwhile, rape only happens to women. And this is why it's a shitty plot device, no matter what James Desborough happens to think. In our stories, in our words, in our culture, we have taken rape away from men. We have changed it from a crime of power, a crime of dominance, into a crime of lust and arousal. We pretend that men rape women and not other men. We pretend that men rape hot, young, and otherwise capable women instead of old people, mentally and physically disabled people. Because when we turn it away from a crime of power and dominance, then we can pretend that it's not a threat. Because it never is to men, is it? No male character in any fantasy or sci-fi book or movie is ever in danger of being raped, because everyone knows rape happens to women. And you know what's most insulting about it all? Trashy fucking romance novels get it better than us. My fiance fucking loves trashy romance novels. She loves them. And you know what they're all about? Strong, plucky women who just happen to be strong and plucky. They don't need a reason to be strong, just like the male characters don't need a reason to be strong. They don't need an excuse for it. They don't need some traumatic thing happening in their past. They're just strong people who happen to be female. They are strong, plucky women who try to be their own person, and the man falls in love with them because of it. Whenever sexual assault does happen in those things, it's never a question of did you lead him on, or where were you working, or maybe if you hadn't done X. The assaulter is always a fuckbag, and it's always a crime. It's not hot, it's not sexy, and when it is, well, those are the fetish ones. Ultimately, this is my problem with geek culture about this. We pretend that misogyny is acceptable and just a thing. We like to pretend that men get it just as bad as women when that is patently and specifically not true. You may recall my rant about Jennifer Hepler, the woman who worked on Dragon Age Origins, and all the shit she got. You might recall the way fucking gaming culture treated her. It was atrocious. It was horrible. And I want to make it clear, guys, before anybody comments, before anybody brings it up, the cheesecake pictures are not the problem. They're a symptom of the problem. Because we can argue for days about how many over-sexualized men there are in gaming art, and there are. I mean, Conan runs around in a fur thong. I get it. These men are sexualized. There's no arguing about that. That's not the problem. The sexualization is not the problem. You know what the problem is? For all the fur thongs that Conan has ever worn, never did you ever look at Conan the Barbarian and say he could not fuck a motherfucker up. Meanwhile, you look at Red Sonja and you just want to see her fall out of her chainmail bikini. That is the problem. No man looks incapable in our gaming art. Women never look like they know how to hold the fucking sword. This is the subtlety of the issue. This goes right back around to why rape happens to women and it never happens to men. Because men in our games, in our culture, are capable and women need to be protected. I mean, I like looking at boobs as much as the next guy. But I like my warriors to look capable. So how do we fix this? Well, you might notice the shirt I'm wearing. A Penny Arcade t-shirt. I've already said that our culture allows this concept that rape happens to women, that we could be dismissive about the problem of language, because it's true. You guys may recall the Dick Wolves situation. And honestly, dead honest, I was on the side of Penny Arcade on that one. The comic, the strip, wasn't about rape. And that's fine. They have made comics that were about rape. And sometimes they were about the rape of men as opposed to women. I don't have a problem with that. I didn't think some of those strips were as funny, but I didn't have a problem with it. The problem was in the reaction of Mike Krolick, the artist. See, that man is an asshole. And he's not an asshole the way I'm an asshole, where I'm trying very hard to be self-aware of the fact that I'm an asshole and understand that when you bring your assholism to bear, it needs to be for a good and sound reason. He's just an asshole. And Penny Arcade does good things. Child's Play is one of the most fantastical charities ever, and not only do I donate to it every year, I'll likely continue to donate to it. I in no way want to diminish or take away from the good that Penny Arcade has done. But Krolek's refusal to accept that maybe, just maybe, there is an issue that he can help to do something about. Maybe, just maybe, he can watch his language, look at how he responds to things, and perhaps make language better, and make our culture better. Well, it makes me realize we're going to have to hurt before it gets better. This shit is an infection. Cleaning it out is not going to feel good. People complain about the language used on Xbox Live, but when you suggest they quit the game, suggest they stop playing, suggest they do anything that would take away from them, they proclaim it's letting the bad guys win. Well, I hate to break it to you guys, but the bad guys have already won. Our culture is already such that people can throw around rape threats as just another thing. People can throw around comments about the sexualization and the dominance of women just because they feel like it. Words like bitch, like cunt, are tossed around just as easily as words like asshole, as words like jerk, as words like idiot. The bad guys have already won, and they've won because we refuse to give something up in order to change. We refuse to change who we are to show that we are unwilling to let this continue. So I'm starting with this. I love this shirt. I love the strip that it comes from. For those of you listening on my radio show, you'll see it on the video. I just took off my shirt. And I love it. This has been one of my favorite shirts since I got it. I've worn it down to the ring when I was wrestling. This is one of my favorite shirts. There are few shirts that I love more. Might take me a minute, guys. What you guys on the radio can't see, and you'll see in the video, is that I am burning the shirt. There it is, on fire. I don't think that that's going to hurt Penny Arcade, because it's not. It will make no effect on Penny Arcade whatsoever. They have my money, and now I don't even have a shirt. It will not, even a little bit. Fire was starting to get out of control from the wind. That's why I have the water. It will not even a little bit affect Penny Arcade. It's just going to affect me. I'm the one who's going to be without a shirt. This shirt that I love and cherish. But that's the point. The point is, if we are going to get rid of this festering infection upon gaming culture, role-playing games, tabletop otherwise, video games, etc., we are going to have to give things up. And I'm willing to do that. Because if we are not willing to go this far, no farther, if we are not willing to go I will not give in to this horrible thing that is continuing, then we will never change it. We must sit there and give up things that we would otherwise love in order to show that it is not acceptable. And it will hurt, but such is the way of things. Until next time, this is the all-powerful Nate Boy, saying if I cannot move heaven, then I will raise hell.